Good morning.
Hey, how are you today?
Oh, nice foggy, hazy day up here. So
Man, it's been wild, hasn't it?
I think we're starting to get some of that smoke from Canada. So
It's seeing some of that they had out on the East Coast even from it was incredible.
I'm having a little technical difficulty this morning. The company Zoom account has me locked out. So good thing I have Plan Bs. We just we'll have to edit a little bit. If usually we're pretty informal here, and I'll shut off the recording until I introduce you or something like that. So I'll just have to edit the front end and the back end off if we do save the recording. Once in a while, we have a good enough conversation, we shut the recording off completely.
Yeah. That's a good thing. That's when you know you're getting into it.
I hope guys are available this morning. Usually we get up to 15, 20 on here, but haven't heard no responses. So if nothing else, we can just have a good old visit. So I think next week we got the Zarvio team and the BSF and Nutrien team all talking. Try to get that all ready. So I don't know what they want to showcase that day at the event, but I just keep telling them I'm doing all this to help all them. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, again, I think the timing where the 45Z info coming out is important because now we know the rules. And it's important that we tell everybody what the rules are so everybody's understanding and we can make
I'm
this.
kind of hoping we get the Zarvio up because I should be able to get my CI score on there, shouldn't I?
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that was a big part of it. I mean, I can go through Continuum Ag and get it that way, but I might do it just to see how they compare.
Right.
Because that's one thing I've been kind of curious. Should I invite Mitchell Hora that day or
So I think Mitchell knows about the event. I think he's planning on coming.
okay?
So, and I chatted with him just a little bit. So yeah,
I've
so
always been a strong proponent of his and that, but with this whole deal, I feel like I'm hurting him a little bit. But there, you know, it's a big enough deal.
that's the thing. That's the thing. There's
Uh,
plenty to go around.
like I said, I know he's going to reach a certain audience. This whole thing will hopefully reach another one. I'm going to try to do this on my iPad. What's my Zoom notification? This is this. Well, maybe nobody's joining. Oh, we got five. We do have five folks on here. See, this is the bad part about doing it on my iPad. Morning, guys.
Morning.
Feel free to unmute yourself. And looks like you're on the road already, Michael.
Getting to be. Got a few chores to run this morning.
Which
It,
direction are you heading today?
uh,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry. Lauren, I'm going to make you the host here.
All righty, appreciate that.
Yep.
Morning, Jordan. I seen
Morning.
AgBA pop up on there. I'm gonna move my iPad down to my computer because my computer's not working on me today. So, oh, we're amateurs today. Am I the host now, Jordan?
Just about.
Okay. Sorry to rush you.
No, that's okay. Now you should be.
Alrighty, there we go. Now I'm gonna pause the recording here. Just was it gonna give me the option to pause? A little different on my iPad. There we go. Record. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Appreciate everybody that has time to jump on, understand what the season we're in right now. Some days we don't get to see everybody on here, but I'll try to send this recording out if it works. And this morning we're honored to have the Farm Journal BSF team on here. And I see we got TNC represented even. So, Andrew, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and talk about the event that we're building up here August 11th at my place.
Yeah, thanks, Lauren. Good morning, everybody. My name's Andy Lyon. I'm the Director of Conservation Agriculture here at Farm Journal's Trust and Food Initiative. So we work with a number of partners all across the ag industry, really just trying to help bring more, uh, practical and profitable conservation opportunities to producers. And one of the things that we've worked a lot with a number of our partners, including BASF, Jeff is on and can talk a little further about some of their work, but really trying to understand more in the biofuel space, and particularly around low carbon intensity ethanol and some of these market opportunities that we're trying to see develop, especially some of that European sustainable aviation fuel market, right? And so, I mean, at the moment, my understanding is that it's really kind of chicken or the egg. We don't know what the size of this market can be because we don't have enough low CI corn coming in as feedstock into the ethanol plants. One of the really nice opportunities that has just kind of lined up for us as well is that we have just recently received some more of the guidance from USDA on what this 45Z tax credit uh, actually looks like, how ethanol plants will actually apply for it. And some of you probably even know more about that than I do. I won't try to, get into the details right now, but again, want to try to use that opportunity as a stepping stone to try to build this sustainable fuels ethanol market. And so, in furtherance of that, as we got to talking, with Loran and others, the best way to try to get information out there in our world, a lot of times, is to host a field day, and that does a couple of things. One, we love it when people are able to join us there in person, and we can share a lot of great information that day. Then we can also capture content around it, and we can do a number of articles that can come out across our Farm Journal media platforms to try and share that information with producers, all across the Corn Belt. So again, we've been working pretty hard to put the field day together with Loran. One of the things that I think stands out about some of our field days is that we're going to have an infield portion and talk a lot about soil health. You'll hear some about precision nutrient management, the actual practices on the ground. But we want to take kind of a holistic view to this conservation sustainability discussion. We want to talk about the marketing angle of it, what some of those potential opportunities are for not just funding in the short term to help you implement practices, but really to build the market that will help sustain your production over time. Because we say it all the time. I mean, there is no sustainability without profitability. And so again, would love to answer any questions anybody might have. I'm going to drop in the chat the link to the registration page of the event. It's on August 11th there at Lawrence Farm. And so would love if anybody was able to come and attend and participate with us. Like I say, we'd also love it if you just help us spread the word. We want to get this opportunity in front of as many folks as possible, allow them to come and learn. So Loran, with that, I'll stop for now. Any questions from the team?
I'll open it up, and I don't want to throw Jeff under the bus, but one of the fun parts of this whole preparation for this event has been working with BSF, and I mean, 45Z is forefront on everybody's mind right now, and we're hitting the target pretty solid here. But the exciting part for me was working with BSF and some of the things they're looking at bringing forward that day. Jeff, are you able to expand upon that a little bit? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can expand. Fortunately for everybody as well, Jessica Monzerati, our head of sustainability, will be there. We'll have some other team members as well. But and focusing on 45Z, but also focusing on the opportunities beyond 45Z. And when 45Z does sunset, what the market is generally working on from other regulatory frameworks that will provide incentives to farmers for practices that are documented and verified, and that market development opportunity. So I know Jessica plans to moderate I don't know, Loran, if she's on another panel, but we'll have quite a few of our team members out of Raleigh and from around the U.S. there to, help support and talk about how we see things even beyond 45Z and what our 2 to 10 year strategy is around regenerative farming.
Not that the Beyond 45Z is kind of what really got me excited about this. I mean, we could have a short-term impact or we could have a long-term impact. And I guess, I'm a long game thinker. That's what I want to start bringing the people together and start figuring out a positive, proactive approach that we can tackle this situation and just keep the ball moving forward. Carol, are you in a spot where you can kind of tell? I've worked with you for quite a few years, and I was glad to see TNC jump on board on this program, and exciting things to come. If you can share a little bit what you're working on.
Yeah, sure. Thanks again for including us and inviting us to the table here. So we're really focusing on engaging with our trusted advisors, specifically our ag retail partners, and kind of supporting that space to help them facilitate this change as well. And we see that there's, I've been out in the countryside working with ag retailers here since I started this position, and there's going to be a big need to build capacity with them to meet the demands of low CI corn. So we would like to be in the trenches there to help them, and not just the service providers that are working with farmers directly, but also the aggregators. I think they're going to kind of be put in a position where this is going to be new territory for them to document traceability on some of their products. So anyway, we're pretty excited to come share that platform with you and be a part of the discussion. I appreciate the invite, and we'll share a little bit about what we have going on as well, I guess. So anything else you want me to cover, Lauren?
Oh, I don't know. We're keep going, I guess. I mean, I did want to bring Mark into the conversation. I was glad to see he jumped on. I mean, if you know the history of Ag Venture Alliance and stuff like that, Mark has been a big proponent of the ethanol industry. Mark, do you want to share a little bit of your history? And hopefully, I think you're planning on coming that day. So,
yeah, good morning, everybody. History with Ag Ventures. Ag Ventures was started in 1998 by a group of farmers who were tired of getting $1.50 for their corn. And the agribusinessmen, bankers, farmers joined together and formed Ag Ventures. And the first 5 years, they, with 1,300 members, raised $20 million to build an ethanol plant and a egg laying facility at Thompson. And with that, those two companies being formed, they were able to create another 40 million bushels of corn demand in North Iowa. So pretty excited to have, Ag Ventures be continuing to be a part of helping startups and promoting ag.
thanks for that, Mark. And one of the things I'm excited about is we are going to have some neat new technology and stuff like that here. I mean, this past week, I've been out playing with the soil sensor that we're going to showcase that today. I mean, everybody talks about nutrient management and that, but when we can start dialing in and create high resolution soil sample maps and that, as part of the deal I'm working on here with BSF and Farm Journal, we're going to have some cool data to that effect. I sat in a meeting yesterday, think about this, 4 times better soil sample repeatability than we've ever had. And then create a higher resolution map than we've ever had. So when we start talking nutrient management, we actually know what we need, where we need it, and how we need it. So that's another thing I'm working on is if the timing is right, I'm going to have a special for Andrew that I haven't even told him about yet, but I'm looking at, I think we've got a couple different sprayers going to come in that day. If the fungicide timing and that works right, I'm hoping to have fungicide being applied in the field that day. Even got a drone lined up. If the timing is right, we might have the helicopter even flying that day. So. And then through the Zarville platform, I want to track them and take them all the way through and show, what's actually working, how it's working. And, I got approached the other day. They're going to add a special piece onto a sprayer and start seeing how we can target that stuff better on application and stuff like that. And anybody knows me, I usually like to have a few tricks up my sleeve for a field day. So is that scary yet, Andrew?
No, I think it's going to be a great day. And, I think the key and one of the reasons it's been so great to work with you, Lauren, is that, there's no silver bullet here, right? There's no one size fits all solution. And so, I mean, we want to show as many different opportunities as we possibly can and allow producers to really, dive into what really interests them and what they think is best going to fit their operation. I love the soil sampling talk. I think that we're going to have Dr. Mike Castellano from Iowa State come as well and talk about a lot of the trials that Iowa State's been doing, really trying to dial in on nutrient management. And the reason that that's really one, that the information is important to have, right, to understand how we can reduce overall nitrogen use per pound of corn grown. But another key there is by getting this data from Iowa State, it flows into the Natural Resources Conservation Service, and that's helping us use the program for nutrient management to be able to do some of this soil saying, very intensive soil sampling with some funding that can then help us as we move forward. So again, a lot of these things just seem to kind of be feeding on each other right at the moment, in my opinion. And again, hopefully it's kind of all coming together to create that opportunity for producers to implement a number of practices that's going to help bring that CI score down and take advantage of this market.
And the other thing I want to bring home is, industry's coming here this day to learn from the farmers. And I hope the farmers show up to help learn and understand and help shape the future of what we are looking at in the ag economy. I know a lot of guys are down in the dumps right now. And, I've changed things on my farm. And I guess that's part of the reason I agreed to do this is I want to show there's potential in the future of what we've got to offer. And, a lot of the industry folks from ethanol to Iowa State. I think even are we going to have the tax credit folks here? I think even talking some of the really neat opportunities for farmers. Our farmers ourselves, we went through the R&D tax credit program. If you haven't looked at that on your farm, it'd be a good day to come and learn about it and see how much impact that can have for your farm. But I think they're going to talk a whole different set of tax credits that are now becoming available for farmers and that. So any other things you want to share or keep a few surprises up our sleeves? Or I got short sleeves on today, so
No, I think we're going to have plenty to talk about that day. Again, I think it's important, like you said, I mean, we want producers to come and learn. I think it's important that producers come. We're still, this is kind of a chicken or the egg deal, still going on here. I mean, we've still got to talk all these ethanol plants into you go into the expense of capturing all this data from the producers and then applying for these 45Z tax credits. Like that's not a for sure thing. There's some pretty good costs associated with just doing that from the ethanol plant standpoint. And so we need to, help them understand that there's going to be plenty of low CI corn that can come into the plants as feedstock. And because if there's not, then it's not worth it for them to go after these tax credits. And so again, we want to make sure that, and there's going to be a number of ethanol plant representatives there. Again, just trying to show them the excitement on the producer side so that they see and will buy in on fully going through with 45Z and taking this what we think is the first big step into really trying to build these sustainable fuel markets.
all righty. Any questions or comments for anybody here, or anything you would like to see at the event? I guess.
Hey, this is Mark. Just to follow up on that, ethanol plants getting enough corn in with the low CI score. I believe it's probably 95% of the farmers around here are still conventional, who deliver to the ethanol plant. So that's going to be a challenge. I think we need to promote that strip till no till farming practices also with this, because it's kind of a match set. It kind of goes together. Either they have it or they don't. So that's going to be a big deal.
And I think the key to that is getting the folks together to find out where they're at now and figure out where they need to be as this thing starts unfolding, so we can help narrate the platform and help folks understand what we're doing, but also help our farmers learn what they need to be doing to get to that next level. And That's the neat part with TNC involved. I think, Carol, do you want to elaborate on any of your programs or, she's still on here. So,
yeah, so one of the initiatives I worked on recently is we're helping fund some of the equipment needed to make these changes. So, helping ag retailers get geared up with the equipment needed to do the strip tilling, train their staff on how to do it, source the cover crop seed. Cover crop seed acquisition is going to be a big ask when 45Z comes online because it's not abundant right now even. So, just getting them ready to do that. So one of our platforms is the equipment cost share. We're also going to be doing some um, capacity building around public programming to help farmers make this transition because I'm not sure ag retailers, well, there's a variety of understanding they have of what public programming might be available for their growers. And just having a better knowledge of that will help their farmers access resources to make those changes that are necessary. So we're pretty excited about a lot of that stuff going on. Um,
you brought up a couple thoughts there, Carol. Keith Burns, I believe, is committed. He's going to be here talking cover crops and stuff like that. I think AEA is going to come and talk some of their products. But do you want to list some of the many other partners that are going to be here, Andrew? I know Nutrien's a big sponsor, and
Yeah, so Nutranex Solutions is one of the sponsors. We'll be there and talk with TNC about this idea of trusted advisors. I think as we look at the conservation landscape right now, the thing that we see is, most producers talk to their agronomist almost every day. They talk to their guy in the conservation office, you know what, a couple times a year maybe, right? We need to make sure that the advisor that's with the producer every day is bought into these ideas around new practices and conservation sustainability efforts. And I think this has been a big blind spot for us over time here, and we need to do better there. TNC's done a great job. They've just released kind of a roadmap where their programs are supporting trying to get more ag retail involved. We've done some work as well, produced a report here a couple of months ago along those same lines, highlighting what they call the Trusted Advisor Partnership up in Minnesota, North Dakota, Red River Valley, but just the idea that, hey, it's the agronomists that are there with the producer every day. That's the relationship that has to work together to have success with these practices. We need to support that. And we need to support these agronomists with information about these public programs, right? All the cost share programs. And so we're going to have a whole session devoted to that day. We're going to have Farm Credit Services of America with us. So it's also important that when we talk about these practices, that we're bringing our lender along for the ride, right? You can't go to your lender just when it's time to need the capital to implement the practice, and because they just don't see the big picture. To have them involved with you as you're making these decisions and taking these steps is really important. So we're going to talk about how to make sure to bring your lender along for the ride with you. And then again, we're going to have a number of partners there, folks that can provide assistance in one way or another, right? Some public programs. We'll have the conservation districts, soil and water conservation districts there with us within our Um, but we're going to have some private programs there as well that, hopefully you can take advantage of. And the idea isn't that, every one of these is going to be a fit for you, but hopefully you can hear something that interests you, follow up more with some of those partners and hopefully find some opportunity to hopefully get some funding or to build some partnerships that help producers implement more of these practices. And to Mark's point, we are going to dig into those practices that lower the CI scores, right? The strip till, no till, certainly with the nutrient management, and then soil health practices, cover crop. I don't know that biological soil amendments is directly involved, but there is through the kind of the soil sampling side. Anytime you're improving soil health, you're helping drive that CI score lower. So we're going to talk about some practical ways we can do that. So again, think it's going to be a great day, pretty varied uh, agenda. You're going to hear a lot of different things out of us. So again, just hope everybody has that opportunity to join us.
I did hear you mention the Red River Valley, and Michael's up there in the heart of it, and I think he's coming down. So maybe we can entice him to bring a few of his farmers down with him. I know he adjusted his vacation even, so that's how special it is for his team. So, any comments, Michael, on your side?
Yeah, I mean my ears were definitely perked prior to that, but be interested to to get connected with the trusted advisor group up here. I think I seen that. I need to find out where those meetings and information are, because my interest really peaks for some of these northern acres where strip till is a significant challenge. Conventional till is actually part of raising certain crops. We do got a lot of no-till up here across the state, different parts, but the Red River Valley is kind of its own animal. And then there's the challenge with cover crops and trying to have a season long enough to actually get a cover crop established. So yeah, I'd like to get connected to that network up here if possible. If there's any information you could share.
Yeah, we sure can, Michael. Let's make sure we follow up on that and we'll get you connected.
Well, one of the highlights that I keep stressing to the farmers that I'm inviting, this is kind of our chance at a listening session. The industry's coming here to hear from us. So let's be open and willing to share our ideals at the same time. I keep going back to that. This is how we're going to help navigate our future. So any other questions, comments? Otherwise, Margaret, do you want to kind of elaborate a little bit about the Tech Hub live in Des Moines next week? Is that?
Yeah, I did want to ask you guys, and Lauren, we can talk about this offline if you like, but when you're talking about the farmers need CI scores and stuff, that just makes me think of Mitchell Hora and the Continuum Ag stuff. I know I had a conversation with him recently about, their work and how many acres they already have CI scores on. Are they a part of what you guys are doing? I'm sure you thought about that.
Yeah, Andrew and I talked about Mitchell right before you jumped on, I think, and I believe Mitchell's coming up for this event. So,
okay,
like I said, we got several other companies that I'm working with. I think G&I will probably be here with their seed priming, and I don't know if we'll have the combine version on my combine that day. But then I think Re-Envision Ag's planning on coming with their seed planter, and through the part of the ZARVO, we've got Sentinel Ag doing the nitrogen management in conjunction with the soil action team. So
excellent. That's great.
Trying to bring a lot of new and exciting technology, and anybody that knows me, that's kind of where my world's evolving more. So that's kind of what I enjoy bringing to the forefront and showcasing. So kind of a neat opportunity we have here to help a lot of people is kind of the reason I signed on. So. But that's probably a good place to pause it. Now we can have free conversation as soon as I figure out where my button is to shut recording.
Before you